All right. Joining
Got
me
it.
now, she is a songstress, of course. Let me get that right.
Songstress.
Artist out of San Diego, California, the Mommy Blush. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm
Oh my
doing well
gosh.
myself. So first off, I just want to get this out of the way. Where'd the name come from? Just right out the jump.
The name?
Yeah.
All right. So I actually used to go by Blush. Originally was like kind of my first stage name. And that's because like I just took a shower. You probably can't tell, but I have naturally red cheeks, like very naturally red cheeks. So no blush required.
Yeah.
And then after I became a mom, I kind of added the mommy for a number of
Oh,
reasons.
I see. I see.
Yeah. So it's spelled Mami because that's kind of like, hey, mommy.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
like
Yeah, I
what
got
a
it.
lot.
I got it. That's cool. That's cool. Um, I've talked to plenty of artists and it kind of distinguishes yourself, right? Like it's something I've noticed that too. People have told me that branding is huge, and I would assume that's part of it.
Yeah, that was my next part is when before I like went on DistroKid and did everything, like got everything out on Spotify and all that.
Mm,
I was like, man, there's kind of a lot of blushes out there, like
yeah.
bands and just everything. So, like SoundCloud was one thing. There's like 1,000 blushes there, but like when I was looking on Spotify, I was like, man, it's already taken. So then I was like, I could add mommy, and yeah, it's like I have a couple Puerto Rican friends that always used to call me that. So I was like, that's kind of cute. It's different and like
Mm.
I had gone by like Lady Blush before, but that's kind of like Lady Gaga and like I don't know. I just wanted
Mommy
something.
Blush, stick with that, you know. That
Yeah,
it has a
it was
ring to it. It has a ring to it.
a little more original too. So
All
yeah,
right,
that's kind of how it came about.
so this is on the come up. I'm bringing it back. So where you from? What kind of music do you do? Talk about that. Like you start with
All
music.
right. Well, I live in San Diego, but I live in North County, San Diego, so it's like it's kind of its own like thing. It's just different than like San
What do
Diego, and
you
that's
what
like
expound on that? Like what do you mean? What do you mean? Like are they different like culturally or like demographically? Is that what you're trying to say?
demographically, a little bit culturally. I would say like southern San Diego is definitely more like city, like big city, and then North County San Diego is a little more spread out and it's not quite country, but it's like I don't know. I live in a little town that's called Fallbrook and it's definitely more country.
Yeah. Well,
Um
I'm from a country town myself, so I understand that.
cool.
Yeah, yeah, I lived with a bunch of rednecks and mudding and all that. So I'm actually from near Orlando, Disney.
Okay. Okay.
A small town outside of Disney. So I understand where you're coming from. My
Yeah.
my town I lived in, 3,000 people, so I understand.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what our town is at now, but I remember when I was like going in like in high school, it was much less populated and I was like, "Oh my God,
Mm.
I fucking hate it here." Like as a
Yeah.
teenager.
No, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, as long as there's a bar or two, you know. But
Yeah, there's about two.
so your music style, rap, what like pop, like what are we talking about here? What would you consider your genre?
Um, well, a lot of the stuff that I have out right now is definitely more on like the hip hop spectrum. I would say like underground hip hop or alternative hip hop. Some of it I even call like trip hop, but it's not
Really? I
quite
want to
trip
know about
hop,
that.
but
Is
like
that Yeah, that's interesting. Is that like alternative meets kind of like rap or R&B or something? Like what is trip hop?
so trip hop, the biggest name that I could think of in trip hop is Portishead.
I'm not familiar, but
You don't know Portishead?
should I
He's like from
hey,
the
hey,
90s, I want to say. He's
if
like
you
a
can
90s
if you
artist.
can get me contact, I'll podcast. But
No, I don't know. I don't know Portishead personally. I wish. But I'll send you like a video or
This
two
is
of hers.
interesting. Keep going on trip hop. That's interesting.
Yeah, so trip hop is just kind of like I don't know. I mean, I don't really know many other trip hop artists, but just like Portishead kind of it's just trippy and it's kind of like
So
got that
EDM
hip
kind
hop
of style,
bass. Um
because or auto
kind
tune or something like that.
of I don't think she's very auto-tuned, but like I said, she's like more from the 90s. Or
I'll have to Google it. I'll have to Google it off
yeah,
air.
that's
All
just like
right.
originally where I heard of the genre trip hop,
That's
but
interesting. Bars, or how did you start getting like performing?
well, I started off doing kind of like coffee shop stuff,
Yeah.
and then I met this dude Johnny Rocker, and he kind of introduced me, or I met him and this dude named Eddie Rap Life around the same time, and I did a few songs with them when I was like 19. And then when I was 21, Rocker was in this other band called Straight to the Head, which was actually a punk band.
And
And
these are local San Diego or
no,
California.
Eddie, well, Johnny Rocker lives in Oceanside, which is right next to the town I
Okay.
live
Yeah,
in
I'm vaguely
Fallbrook.
familiar. Sure.
Okay, so you've heard of Oceanside? Duh,
Yeah, yeah,
Oceanside.
yeah. Okay. I love it. I
Um,
love it. I love it. This is good. This is good. It's already starting off well. I love it. I love the energy.
so yeah, Rockers from Oceanside. Eddie Rap Life had moved here from Rhode Island. So that's
Okay. Wow. That's like
yeah, it was kind of a
crazy.
cool little like how we
Like
met.
from
Like
Boston to LA kind of vibes, kind of near each other.
yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah, East Coast, West Coast.
Yeah, yeah, that's wild.
And then I think he ended up moving back home at some point. And Rocker had the band Straight to the Head, which was a punk band. And originally they had like
Hey,
a
you know.
husband and wife duo. Yeah, for real. They had a husband and wife like singing, and then they moved to I don't quote me on this. I want to say like Virginia. And so
Okay,
Rocker
I
was
lived there
like,
for a while. I'm all about
okay.
Virginia. I'm all about Virginia. I lived there for a while. I'm all
Um,
about it.
he was like, we need like a chick singer. Do you want to like try out or do it? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And so we rocked that for about a year and a half, 2 years maybe, until I was like maybe 22, 23. Um, and then I started kind of getting more into hip hop, but kind of doing my own thing as opposed to like well, not really my own thing, but just like not doing the other stuff. Like I was just finding my own people to make music with,
Right.
not the people I was making music with before. And I was on
Gotcha, gotcha.
SoundCloud, and on SoundCloud I met a lot. What year was this? This was probably like 20.
SoundCloud was huge.
Yeah.
Early 2010s, right?
Yeah, I was just gonna say it was about like 2012 maybe,
Yeah,
when
I remember that.
2013.
I remember that.
Yeah.
You don't
So
hear
I
about it. You don't hear about it as much anymore.
yeah, it's a little obsolete, I would say, just because it's like I don't think they like pay artists, or maybe they do now. Like it's been years, but you know, I mean, most streaming services just don't really pay artists, so I guess
Well, I've heard
not
stories.
not much competition there with the streaming services,
15,
but
15 cents a reel on Instagram. I've heard them. I've heard the stories.
yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm not even there yet. I'm just
No, but I'm just
doing this
saying.
for free.
No, I'm just saying that's the stories I hear. It's like pennies
Yeah.
for each time they use a reel.
Oh yeah,
But
Spotify is like 0.003 of a
that's
penny or something. It's
that's fucking outrageous.
yeah,
How
it's
they I how do they expect people to start if they're I don't know. I could go on this huge diatribe.
well, and
You know.
they just changed it to like I don't like nerd out on it that hard or think about it too hard, but I heard something about like
Hmm.
they you have to have like at least 1,000 plays on a song for them to
Wow.
start putting like the money towards it or something,
Actually
or
recognizing
yeah, yeah,
toward
those are the right
monetizing.
words.
Yeah,
Um,
monetizing.
so then I met a few people through SoundCloud. Their name was Remorser and Remarkable. and they were like making beats, and then I started talking to Remorser, and he's like, I want to get you on a song, like, let's chill. And then he brought Remarkable along, and I had no idea that they even knew each other. Like, maybe I knew, like, I saw them like each other's stuff online, but I didn't know they actually knew each other. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're Remarkable. This is crazy. Like,
So, and
so it was like,
these are the like punk, like you're talking
no,
about
this
artists, or
this
these
was
are what type of
this
genre are we talking about with them?
this was hip hop. So this
Hip
was
hop.
when I was going back into hip hop,
Gotcha,
kind of
gotcha, gotcha.
finding other people to make music with on
Uh-huh.
SoundCloud.
Okay.
And like I met them, and then I met up with them, and like we started making music, and we called our group Burp, so BRRP,
Oh,
and that's Blush Remorser Remarkable
I
Productions.
like the names. You guys are
Yeah.
creative. Creative. Forget actual human first names. Just go with the hardcore stage names. I love it.
Exactly.
I love
It's
it.
gotta fake it
Yeah,
to make
like
it, you know?
I've had some like I've had Blusty on freestyle, like creative names. I love it. So continue
Yes.
on with the story. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, you're good, you're good. So, Burp was kind of like my first hip hop crew or like group. It was like a trio, I would say.
Hmm.
And then Remorser ended up stepping away from the group. Just I think his girlfriend got pregnant, and he was just kind of focusing on becoming a dad and stuff. Um and then it was just me and Remarkable for a while. We were rocking it, and we released like three EPs altogether
Hmm.
and like a few singles. So that was like really what kind of cemented me into rapping and making hooks and
Hmm.
making hip hop pretty much. Like I had a little bit of experience before the punk band, but it wasn't like until I did Burp where I was like, yes,
Well, you hit
this
your
is what I got.
stride. Yeah, you hit your stride
Yeah.
kind of. Because
Hmm.
it's I hate to I hate cliches, but I'm gonna say one.
It's okay.
Practice makes perfect, right? I hate that, but it's true. It's
It's
true.
true. It's true.
Like with podcasting. Oh man, it was
Yeah.
it was bad. Blush like my first couple episodes. Wow. But now I would like to think I don't want to be, you know, too egotistical, but I would like to
You're
assume
getting
I'm getting
there.
better. I would
Baby
like to
steps,
assume I'm
right?
pretty good. Well, I've been doing this for a long time now.
Nice.
So
Okay.
I've been podcasting since late 2017.
Dang.
But on my own, I had a
Okay.
co-host.
Okay.
But on my own, I've been doing it since like 2019, 18, 19.
Okay.
So,
Cool.
yeah,
Nice.
it's just like a hobby. I think I've made nickel and dimes, but it's more
Yeah.
of like a hobby cast, and that's fine because
Yeah, but you love it,
it's
so
no, well, it gives me something to do.
yeah.
And it's genreless. I mean, I can do it, I can talk about whatever. So that part's
Hmm.
kind of nice.
Yeah.
But when you interview as many people as I have, you start getting, you know, used to everything. So I understand. I understand.
Yeah.
Um, and then what happened? What happened after the group? When did you start? So are you still contacted with them?
Um, not so much with Remorser. He's like around. I know he's around, but yeah. Well, so Burp kind of had like a falling out at some point, and then shortly after that, I got pregnant. So, music was kind of put on pause for a
I
little
mean, for
bit.
real life, yeah, I understand.
Yeah. So,
Real life trumps this, I would assume. Yeah, so
yeah, and then Remarkable, he ended up moving to Arizona, so that even like made it even slower for us, but we've still managed to complete some things. And then in like 2021 is when I started well, hold on. Let me rewind a little bit. So yeah, I got pregnant in 2017, and my son was born January 2018. And then
hey, January, that's my Capricorn, that's my birth month.
yeah, he's a
Yeah, shout
Capricorn.
out to Capricorns. Yeah.
That's your birthday?
My birthday's in 6 days. Yes, I won't
Oh,
tell you. I won't tell you
cool.
how old I am unless you ask. I don't. I don't care.
My son is born
I'll be.
on,
I'll be. I'll be 37.
okay, cool. I
Yeah.
am 33. I'll be
Oh, I
34
didn't
in
ask.
March.
That's one rule. That's one rule I learned at an early age. My mom, when I was like a teenager, like she knows I'm gonna start dating or whatever. She was like, Sean, don't ask a woman how old they are. I'm like, all right, mom.
Oh, really? See,
No,
I'm
that's one
kind of
rule. That's
like,
one rule. I don't. I have done it before, but kind of just like not like in conversation.
mhm.
But that's a rule. That's a rule and I've learned the hard way on that.
Oh, see, I am like, I don't play by that rule. No, I tell people my age without them even asking. Like,
Yeah,
I'm like,
it don't
this is
matter
how
to
old I
it don't
am.
matter to me neither.
Yeah.
But
I've,
that's awesome.
and
So
then, okay, my son was born in 2018. Then in 2019, me and his dad broke up, and then 2020
mm.
happened. Sorry, I have these like
No,
little
no, no, no. This is great. This is great.
no, I have these
We
like
may need to take an
disco ball things.
advertising break, but this is great. I love it.
And then 2020 happened, and then in 2021, like, I kind of had a lot of free time from quarantine, and I was like, I have really been like not putting in any work, and I was like, I need to focus on like doing my solo stuff. So then that's kind of when like it was Blush before, and then that's when Mommy Blush happened. I was like kind of came up with
Oh,
that.
yeah. That's
And then
interesting.
I met this dude through Facebook. He added me on Facebook. His name
Randomly or
random,
that's
hella
crazy.
random.
That's
This was
crazy.
it was like a little bit before my 30th birthday in 2020,
Oh,
right before
the dirty 30.
yeah, the
Yeah.
dirty 30. And then the world shut down when I came back from my birthday break. But he had added me like a few weeks before my birthday, and he had found like some of my cover videos of just me doing guitar and cover songs, and he really liked it, and he's like, I want to like he had a collective called Cult Music Media, and he's like, I want to have you be in Cult and stuff. And I was like, wasn't really sure because I wasn't really doing music. I was just
Oh, so
doing
this
little,
person was also an artist?
yes. And
Oh.
they make beats, well,
And what's the
made
genre of this person? We've hit a lot of the genres. What's this one?
hip hop.
Oh, okay. So we're in the
So
so long story short, not saying that this isn't a great story, but I'm just saying to sum up all these genres, it's hip hop, punk, and stuff, right? The same sort of
yeah, hip hop punk.
punk. Yeah.
I had a band at some point. It was like kind of a girl band, and it was named Rose Colt.
Oh, that's a cool
And
name too. Man, these names, you're on fire.
thank you.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So
Sensibly cynical. That stands out too. So I get it. I
yeah, I
get
do
that a
like that
lot.
one.
I get that a lot.
Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier. I'm like, that's a good name.
Yeah, like how like people are like, how the fuck did you think of sensibly cynical? Well, I didn't do it. My co-host did, but
Got you.
I, I wouldn't feel right if I took credit for that name. Well, it
Yeah.
was positive. We are trying to think synonyms for positive and negative. That's how we
Oh,
did it.
okay. Gotcha. That
So
makes
yeah, that's
sense.
how. And we were
Okay.
just throwing shit at the wall, and he was like, sensibly cynical, and I'm like, yeah, it rings a bell.
Yeah,
We're
it
just
rolls
doing
off the
just
tongue
throwing
nicely.
shit at the wall. But that's right. That's half of music, to be honest, is
Yeah.
throwing shit at the wall and seeing what
Oh, for
sticks.
sure. For sure.
Podcasting,
Yes.
that's actually art in general, I would think.
Oh yeah, all of it.
Because if you watch, have you seen the show America's Got Talent? Are
Yeah,
you
I've
have
seen
you
it
heard of it?
I've heard of it. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't watch it like regularly.
But most of those acts are just people doing random shit. It's
Yeah.
staged, yeah, but it's the act itself is like, real stuff. So that's for people out there listening to this. I know this is a kind of another cliche, but do you. Fuck
Oh,
if so
totally.
fuck if right. Is that your message too to people?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm kind of just trying to like lead by example with that, and like fucking just you have to not give a fuck what anyone thinks about you. You can't
Yeah.
care what your your so-called friends think, you can't care what your coworkers think, you can't care what your parents think, what your family thinks, like you can't care what like your kid's teacher thinks, like not that they really think about you anyway, but like you have to really like I think there's a book out there called like The Art of Not Giving a Fuck, and that's
Really?
like
I gotta Google
really
that.
it's
It's
something along
available.
those
It's available
lines.
on Amazon. But
Probably, yeah. It's something along those lines, like, don't
mm,
quote me exactly on the title, but it's something like that, and I've never even read it, but I'm just like, that
mm,
title alone, I'm like, "The Art of Not Giving a Fuck," truly not
yeah.
giving a fuck, like, how do you do that? And so I'm
Yeah.
just trying to kind of figure that out.
Um,
2021. So the dude that added me on Facebook, his name is Van Bates, and his music is Black Hesher, that's, like, the hip hop name he goes under. He ended
yeah.
up giving me a bunch of beats, like, at, like, 15 beats maybe, and, that
Wow.
I started writing to them, and then he ended up passing away in, like, April of
Oh, my
2021.
condolences. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. And but at his memorial, I was able to actually meet all the people that he wanted me to meet and like
Oh.
make music with like everyone that was in
You
his collective.
so you're kind of you have like another you kind of creating for that. You know what I mean? Like you're kind of using it as kind of like a
Well,
kind of like a way to like give like you know what I mean? Keep the memory and stuff, right?
definitely. Yeah. Like my EP Wicked, he always used to say like, "Oh, that's
We're gonna talk about that.
well,
We're
he always used to say, "Oh, that's wicked rad." And so I ended up naming it Wicked because of that. And like every person I have featured is from Cult Music Media because I had asked them, I was like, "Hey, will you guys help me like finish these songs since I didn't get to finish them with him?" And they're like,
yeah.
"Fuck yeah," you know? And so I that's kind of how I got into Cult Music Media.
So what is that? Is
And
that like a label kind of a sorts? Or
um
like agent
Some
or like
people would call it a label, but I call it more of like a
the
collective.
collective, okay.
Because there's some people who are more into like screenwriting, and there's some people who, you know, do more like um videography and stuff, or we all kind of have like our little niche things, you know, that we like to do. And
Yeah.
but I would say most of it was like
Oh,
rap, hip
okay.
hop,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that was
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
like the forte of everyone.
We're still going with that theme. I love it.
So yeah, that was kind of like the main focus or that's the main focus of Cult Music Media. And a lot of the singles that came out after that are still his beats, but we just everything that happened on Wicked, we had the stems to, so we were able to make it like a uniform sound. And all my singles, we didn't have the stems to the beat, so we just kind of like released it as is, like
Mm,
um, so that's kind of like why only 4 songs are on the EP as opposed to like all the beats he gave me.
yeah. Okay, so you mind if I ask you about a couple of those?
Yeah, let's get into the songs now.
Still Wonka. Now this is gonna be another saying that people have heard how you started it. Get busy, get living, you're not promised tomorrow. That's something that I would assume every person listening to this has heard. Not maybe the exact words, but the message. And that's
Yeah, the message.
I assume that was the message from how you started that.
Yes. So, well, um, a little bit before Van died, I was actually diagnosed with cancer. And
Oh wow.
so I went through a bunch of existential crises from then until now, like the last 2 years. And you'll hear that a lot in my songs, or it's just kind of talking about like how precious life is and like you can't really take it for granted and you just have to go out and fucking live your fucking life, you know, like um and so yeah, that was kind of another thing that lit a fire under my ass because I was like, what if I'm next? Like, I have to get
Mhm.
these songs out. Like, I don't have anything to leave behind for my son. I need to at least get these songs out so like he can listen to those. But like, I'm fine now. Like, I'm good, finished treatment, just monitoring my body and like um but yeah, that's pretty much like
That's great to hear. And Appreciate you telling your stories. If it impacts at least one person listening, then
Yeah.
you know.
If you're talking about the intro for the beat where it's like,
Yeah.
put your hands together and clap,
Uh-huh.
like
That's what I'm
that
talking
was
about.
just
That's what I'm talking about.
that was just part of the beat. That's
Okay.
Van put that in there. That was always in there before I had anything to do with the song. So
Oh, okay. Okay.
yeah,
It was just added and then
it was
it's
already there, and then
all right.
my
That's
vocals
cool.
were just
That's
added
what I
pretty
mean.
much.
That's what I mean. I've noticed that a few on those. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and like or there's some songs that have like a little outro at the
Yep.
end, and
Yep.
that's
Yep.
all Van. That's all him.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you're very talented, by the way. I didn't really
Thank
get a
you. I
chance
appreciate
to
that.
I haven't really told you, but that's a given, one listen.
Aw.
I mean, one listen, you can tell. I appreciate you doing this too. This is awesome.
Totally.
I'm having a good time. This is you're I can tell the energy, so
Aw, thank
that's cool.
you.
And Seven Headed, was that on that EP too? Is that
Yes,
what
that
you're
was
talking about when
actually
like a bunch of people were on
that
it?
one. Yeah, that one has actually, it's funny, I didn't even realize until like almost a year after that song was out that there's actually 7 people on that song. So I was like, oh, this is
Really? Are you being
tight.
serious or come on?
Yeah.
Are you being
I
are you being like facetious or are you being real? Like you
No,
really didn't
I'm
know?
being real. There's actually 7 people. I didn't even count it until
No, I
later
know
because,
there is, but you
oh,
didn't count until after?
no, I didn't know until like way later. And I was like, oh my God, there's actually 7 people on Seven Headed. Like,
That's wild. That's wild.
yeah, I'm like perma stoned. So, sometimes
Yeah.
I have those moments where I'm like, doo doo
Hmm.
doo.
Then what are the other two? You said there's four, right, on that?
Yeah, so the one after that is called The One, and that
Okay.
one is like a love song. I don't write a lot of love songs because they're
But you
hack.
sprinkle them in. You sprinkle them in.
Yeah, I guess just the the act of me making music is love enough, and it's love in itself. But every once in a while you got to do a love song because, it's what drives the universe pretty much.
All right.
Awesome.
So, yes. So when did Wicked release? That was your most recent, right?
No, no, that
No?
was
So
that dropped in
when did Wicked release?
Wicked released most of my stuff came out in 2022.
Okay.
Um so let me pull it up. I want to say it was like around 420. I think
Mm.
I do that a lot. I like to release
Is that
things
a
on holidays.
is that a coincidence? Oh, 420 is the holiday. I love it. I haven't heard it. I haven't. Oh, you think I wouldn't catch that, did you? You think I wouldn't catch that? No, I caught it. I caught it. Hey, you know what? When we're both no longer around, it'll be one. Okay,
Oh yeah. Oh,
the
it
way
is in
society's going.
California.
I don't know if you're a sports person, but
Not really.
now it's basically it used to be where they would like ban the hell out of these people, like if they got caught with it.
Oh yeah,
Now it's like a fine or like a
like a
suspension.
timeout.
I'm not promoting it. I'm not promoting it. Okay, I don't want to come across as
Ah.
promotional, you know. But hotbox, I mean, who doesn't know that word, right?
I know, for real. So, okay, yeah, I think my goal was to release it on 420, but I think we were still finishing something up on it, and then also someone else in cult music released something on 420. So it just kind of worked out that I needed a few more days, and then so they released it on 420. This Wicked was released April 25th. And
All
that was
right.
my first EP, but
Okay.
my first single before, oh no, actually I released 2 singles before Wicked.
You're checking out your own. I love it. You
Well,
got
I'm like, wait a minute,
hey,
when did I
listen,
release these?
that's why you're a songstress, right? You've been in the well, the kids say the lab.
Yeah,
you've been in the lab working. So I understand.
yeah.
Sometimes I'm the same
So,
thing about podcasts. I'm like, when did that episode release? And
yeah,
it'll be like 2 years ago, and I'm like, damn, when did time fly? Time
yeah.
with the best of them. It just flies by.
Totally. So, yeah, Wicked, okay, so I actually released 2 songs before that. Um, that were like Mommy Blush songs. One of
Hmm.
them was called Missing You, and so like after Van died, that's my friend Black Hesher. Um
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, it's
one of
that's
one of the
yeah.
one of the people in cult music media, her name was Katie LaDubs, and we ended
Hmm.
up actually dating for a little bit, but
Wow.
she
The
was
plot,
in
the plot, the
the
plot
plot
thickens.
thickens inside, and like met a bunch of people and was like partying a bunch, and like, yeah,
I'm
it's all
partying right
history.
now. I won't tell you what's in here, but I'm kidding. I
um
trust me, I know about party. I that's a story for a different time, but it's kind of why I got dumped by one of my ex-girlfriends because I partied too hard. So
oh, that happens.
I understand. Anyways,
But yeah, so Valleys is kind of a love song to Oceanside. It's I grew up there as a kid, so I have lots of fond memories there, like being at the beach and stuff. And then, like I said, going back in my 20s, just like riding my bike on the Strand and stuff. The Pink Caddy line came from when my mom used to drive me and my brother to my great aunt's house. She lived in Carlsbad, which is right next to Oceanside, but we always used to see this pink Cadillac mailbox. And like ever since then, I've always wanted a pink Cadillac. And so it's
yeah,
kind of like a
I like that.
manifestation. Like the more I say it, like maybe the universe will answer it. But in due time, in due time,
So
maybe when I'm a real grown up, I'll have one.
those are my two favorite ones that I listened to from. I don't know why I did this, but those
It's
are the
okay.
two. Those are the
Yeah.
yeah, exactly, exactly. Oh man, I got some good rock concert stories. But anyways, those are my two favorite ones from you though. Um,
uh Wicked or wait.
yeah, Still Wonka
Oh,
and
Still
Valleys.
Wonka.
Yeah,
Yeah, Still Wonka
those
is
are
one of
pretty
my
good.
faves. Valleys is one of my faves for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, that's awesome. And then Missing You. So where are the timelines on those three? So when did Valleys come out?
Well, so it was Missing You first. That was on
Yeah, okay,
Valentine's
yeah.
Day.
So we're
That
going
was
in, we're going backwards, which is fine because that's the next one I want
well,
to talk to you about.
yeah. Well, there was yeah. So that Missing You came out February 14th, 2022.
And that's another coincidence, I would assume.
Oh, I did that. Yeah, we did that on purpose. It was like, oh, are you feeling sad on
No,
Valentine's?
I know, I was being
Well, we like made memes about it. We're like, are you feeling sad on Valentine's Day? Well, listen to this song about
yeah.
missing your ex.
Yeah, so the ex I just talked about, she came over on Valentine's Day. I'm like, you do know you're here on Valentine's Day. Oh yeah, this is just a day. And I'm like, zing. I'm like, damn, you're gonna do me like that? Like, damn, that's a cold line.
Oh, that's funny. It's just a day.
Yeah, it's like it's just a coincidence. Like I'm just here.
Oh, she knew what she was doing.
I
She was
mean,
plotting and scheming.
I'm better. I don't want to come across as that vindictive ex, but it's for the best.
Eh,
But anyways,
everyone can
so
be petty.
yeah. And
I'm petty.
we're young, so I understand. Everything happens for a reason. Another cliche. I should have a cliche counter for this episode.
Yeah, take a shot every time there's a cliche.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So Valentine's Day, Missing You, and
And then
this
yeah,
this line right here, they come around, but they never close to. What like I like that, but what's the background of that line?
I don't actually
It
know where that's
says
from.
it
That just
says
came with the beat. It says, I know what it
oh,
says, but it
okay.
just,
It says
my
it right
friend
there in the
made the
beginning.
beat and that was kind of a sample that was in the beat. Um, they come around, but they never come close to. And I don't
Yeah.
know where that's from. I never asked. I probably should have, but
Well, I don't know. It just like I was just like maybe perplexed for a second. I'm like, am I missing something here? Like, that's
well, I
awesome.
guess to me what it means is like, you know, like
Yeah, but that
you,
can be
you
taken so many different ways.
it could be, yeah, I guess, but like to me, writing the song, it was like they come around, like I date people, but
Oh, okay.
they never come close to what you and I have
Gotcha.
or
Gotcha.
had in the past. So
Had
that's what
plural. Yeah.
Had. No, past tense.
Oh, past
No
tense.
longer.
Whatever.
Yeah, but
I'm not in school anymore.
yeah, fuck school. No.
No, go to school, kids. Stay in school. Yeah. This is fun. I'm having a good time. This is good stuff.
Totally.
Yeah, so what have you Oh, I'm gonna ask you the stereotypical question. We're on cliches and stereotypes. I like this.
Okay.
Influences. You've got to have some.
Oh, I have a ton of influences. I mean, I
So
love
go ahead. Feel free to talk. Feel free. List them away.
So, I mean, I guess since we're on the subject of hip hop, I'll start with like my hip hop influences. I've always loved Atmosphere. I always say that he's like my number one favorite rapper. I also lately I've been listening to a lot of Queen Herbie, Ash Nico, Doja Cat because I love her new fucking album. I cannot get enough of
Doja
it.
Cat.
Yeah. Who else? I love Princess Nokia a lot. Um, I get that's what I've been listening to a lot lately.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Atmospheres, I've always listened to Atmosphere since I was like, I don't know, like 18 or 19 or something.
Right.
Um, and I guess some more underground stuff. Like I like Reverie, I like Gavlin, I like a
These
little bit of Sage Francis, a
these
little bit of
names. Yeah, I
Have you
love
heard
it.
of these or
No, but
no?
the names are
Oh,
great.
okay. Um, yeah, I mean, I
I've heard of Doja Cat. Okay, I have
Doja.
a. Who hasn't? Who
Who
hasn't?
hasn't? I know. I know.
Are you into like EDM too?
Not so much.
No,
I mean,
not
I'll
really.
listen to it a little bit, but I've never been to a rave
Because
before.
some of those beats kind of come across as EDM, kind of some of those
Yeah,
beats.
kind of dancey, kind of EDM-y,
Yeah,
like highly like
I'm a big EDM person. Not big, but
uh-huh.
I got into the scene in like in Virginia. I got into the scene. My buddy was real big into it,
Okay.
and I started getting into like Skrillex, the big name ones, Skrillex
Okay, yeah. I mean, Skrillex had a phase for
my
sure.
favorite is Skrillex and then Marshmello. So the
Marshmallow.
two,
Okay.
yeah, it's Marsh. You never heard of Marshmello? He's huge.
No, I remember
He has
Dead
the
Mouse.
marshmallow. He's has marshmallow head. I mean, hence
Oh,
the name Marsh.
I'm gonna have to look it up. I'm gonna have to look it up. I will though, for sure. I'm gonna
Actually, I don't
add
know
it to
why I'm
my
like that.
Spotify.
I don't know why I'm like that because it's not Marshmallow's not like a super huge name. It's not like
It's okay. I did that
Beyonce or
to you with
anything.
Portishead.
Yeah, true. I don't want to come across as like an asshole host. That's not who I
Okay,
am.
look, I'm putting it into my. Okay, I see the head
A
now.
million followers, maybe.
No, yeah, there's a lot. I'll have to listen to some of these songs and see if they
Oh,
sound
Marshmallow is
familiar.
huge in the EDM
We
scene.
really don't have a choice, you know? I'm kind of just learning to embrace it because it's like, um, you know, I don't necessarily need to wait to like get signed or like have someone like pay attention. I could just start releasing it, you know, and like I'm kind of in charge of myself and what I do and like it's kind of like really freeing. But
So
it's also a lot of work, you know, like it's a lot of work coming up with content or like, you know, I'm like doing modeling, but it's like it's just for myself to promote my
yeah,
music and it's
yeah.
like I'm just trying to everything again, like we said earlier, like seeing what sticks, you know, I'm just
Throwing
throwing
shit at
shit
the
at
wall.
yeah, throwing shit at the wall, throwing shit at
Well,
social media and
yeah, in like the
seeing what
2000s,
works.
people started getting like MP3s. I forgot the name, LimeWire and shit like that.
Oh yeah,
that was
Napster.
really
I
yeah.
was a
Oh
Napster girl.
man, Napster. So many fucking stories. My guy 50.
Oh
That's how I heard of 50 Cent. And like I got into the
yeah.
rap phase. I got into a rap phase.
That was my emo phase was Napster and like that was when I was
But
in
I'm
high
from the South
school.
though. Rap's huge in the South.
Oh yeah.
So I grew up on I got into the rap scene, not like heavy,
Hmm.
but I started listening to like 50 and
Yeah.
everyone knows 50 Cent.
Oh totally.
Eminem, Jay-Z, Nelly. I got into all that.
Eminem, yeah.
But Jay-Z, man, he's still doing his thing. But do you listen to rap or anything like any of the mainstream rap people?
Well, I mean, I listed some of the rap artists that I like
You
that
just
I've been listening to,
right,
like
right.
um and I listened to a little Eminem. It's just reminiscent of when I was like younger.
Yeah, yeah.
Um
He's definitely a throwback.
yeah, Jay-Z
But he's
like
still doing his thing though. I don't want to call him a throwback. He's it's Eminem. I mean,
oh yeah.
he can do
Oh,
whatever the fuck he wants.
he's a god for sure. He's very honed his craft
He's
very
one of the
well,
goats, as the kids say. One of the goats.
Definitely one of the goats. um Jay-Z, like I'm not that I'm not a fan. I'm just like, like I don't know if you saw my story, but I was like rocking out to Mariah Carey Heartbreaker.
Mariah
And
Carey, man, she's got the vocals.
I
That's
know, I fucking wish I could sing like her.
and every time there's
But
Christmas, there her songs show up.
yeah. Well, it was cool this year. It was Brenda Lee, the Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree, ended up being the #1 Christmas song this year after 30 years of it being Mariah Carey.
Mhm.
And I was like, damn, that's fucking sick. And that's kind of the cool thing about like having your music up on Spotify and streaming services. It's like, even if it doesn't take off now, like
Mhm.
there's so many stories coming up lately of people like getting rediscovered like 20 years later and blowing
Yeah.
up. Like kind of
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that
yeah.
Stranger Things, that one song, Running Up the Hill. It was
Uh,
Run Up the Hill.
and
Uh
I feel like the pandemic did a lot too. People just had nothing to do but sit at home and listen to old music.
yeah.
And I
Yeah.
feel like that helped too. People get unfortunately the circumstances. I don't want to, you know, but it did. One thing it did do was it did kind of give people time to check out music more.
Yeah.
Um, all right, so I got a few more questions, if that's all right. I don't know how much time you
Totally.
got, but
Let's do it.
I have a few more questions.
Okay.
Speaking of stories, you got a good
Mhm.
one? You got a good one for me on the road or something that you some night, crazy night, either partying or music or anything like that?
Oh man.
I know I hate putting you on the spot.
Just
I'm
any old
sorry.
story.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just something. It don't got to be nothing crazy unless you want it to be. It's up to
Um,
you.
mm. I don't know. I mean, I could tell you a story about anything,
Just
but
pick
let's see,
one.
on the road.
It doesn't have to be anything crazy. It can just be something
Okay,
like about great music or something. You know what I mean? It's open ended. Open ended.
so there's just a story that I was gonna say it on on my Instagram story earlier, but
Oh, promotional tactic. I like it. Yeah.
but I didn't.
Never turn down a time to promote. I understand that.
I saved it for this podcast instead. Not really a story about anything, but I was thinking recently. So I don't know if you saw my song Psycho Castrate. It's like, or if you listen to it,
Am
but it's like
I you gotta put me in a
Psycho.
bind.
So
Oh,
it goes psycho, pouring gas on the
yes,
flame. It's how the
yes,
night
yes,
go.
yes,
We feel a
yes.
night
I
fly.
know,
And then it,
for real,
and then it goes,
you're like, no, he hasn't. I'm like,
no,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
fine.
no. No,
But
I
the
have.
other part of it, the other part is psycho castrating men, bathe in the blood, and we do it
What?
again.
Yo, you go in on these people. Like, go in for the jugular or something.
So okay, so I released that song at some point, and then um Roe versus Wade got overturned, right?
Uh
And so I went on Facebook, and it's like, what's on your mind? And all I
and shit gets real. Real sweat. Yeah.
all I did this time, all I did was write one word, and I just put vasectomies, like, because that's what was
Uh
on my mind, like, but
uh-huh.
I had released that song like a few months before that. So I don't know, but there's this chick, I will not say her name. But she also makes music, and she's kind of more like love and light and kind of like hippy dippy ish, but like not. And I'm kind of more like a bitch witch, Like, I'm just like, I don't know, I'm just more like upfront and real. But she commented on my thing, and she's like she was triggered. She was very like, I can't believe you're putting out this horrible spell onto all of men. Like, have you ever had like been with someone and
just on the soapbox. Yeah.
mental health, just mostly depression, um, and like I've never had like never tried suicide, but I struggle with thoughts for sure. Not it's not constant, you know, but I was kind of really able to tap into that and kind of it's kind of like a letter to different people in my family. Um, but it's kind of written in a way where it's like um forgive me, Father, like the pastor or who, yeah, I don't know, fucking Catholic Church, like the confessional people, or like forgive me, Mother, like Mother Teresa, or like forgive me, brother, like
Hmm.
fucking apostle or something, you know. So
Yeah.
um forgive me, sister, like a nun or something. So it's kind of disguised in that way. But yeah, it's a very heavy song, but it was very healing for me to not only create it but release it. And it's probably been the song that I've had like the most support and feedback off of. But again, like I've kind of been building this until I released that song, like just a following and stuff. So it was cool to hear a lot of people's feedback on it and be like,
Yeah.
wow. You
Yeah.
know, I was like, thank you for actually listening and not just like pretending to listen, you know, like people are actually kind of starting to pay attention to my music, which is pretty cool. It's a
Well,
cool
I'm
feeling.
paying attention, hence
You
why I
are, you
invited you.
are. And I'm
Um,
so stoked.
this has been really awesome. Like I said repeatedly, this I've had a good time, and
Thank you. Me too.
I think you're very talented, and I appreciate you giving an hour of your time. So
I appreciate you giving me an hour of your time and for interviewing me.
time we both won't get back, but a time
Yeah,
well spent. So
totally. Definitely.
all right, of course, the question I ask or the statement or whatever I ask everybody, where can
Mhm.
people find you on social media?
So on social media, mostly on Instagram. I'm an Instagram girl. Mommy Blush Music. So that's Mami Blush, Blush, and then music, just the regular way you spell music, Music. Wait, Music. Yeah, okay, that's how you say it. So Mommy Blush Music on Instagram, and then um on all streaming services, it's just Mommy Blush. Two words, Mommy
Hmm.
Blush. And yeah, but I'm pretty active on Instagram. You guys could reach out, follow me there. Um, DM me.
Well,
Sometimes.
hopefully you get a DM from I can send Poltergeist a message and let him know, and
Okay.
that's happened a few times with my guests as they've collaborated. So what's one
That's
more,
cool.
right?
No, I'm totally trying to collab more this year. Um, like I was kind of telling you, I released a lot of songs in 2022, but that was also when I was going through my cancer treatment was in
Well,
2022.
I'm glad that everything is sounds like on the upswing. So
Yeah. Well, and then
health
2023, I just
wise.
kind of, yeah, 2023, I just kind of like, I only released two songs and like, I wasn't, as active with
Hmm.
everything. But 2024, I'm like, let's collab, let's book
Happy
shows, let's
Happy
fucking
New
do
Year.
interviews.
Happy New
Yes,
Year, by the
Happy
way.
New Year.
You know, it was funny. I was listening to a podcast. I can't I forgot the name of it, but they were like, when is it too late to say Happy New Year? And I was thinking, never. It's never too late. But they were like, it's socially acceptable at like a week. So
Yeah,
we're
we're
still
still
good.
in there. We're good.
We made it by a couple days. All
I
right.
know there's a few customers at work today. They were like saying Happy New Year. I'm like,
I think it's acceptable to the 7th. I think the 7th is when
yeah,
we got to start moving on.
yeah. Let's get going with the rest of the year, people.
They have until Monday to make it socially acceptable. Oh
Oh, he already started
fuck
following me.
yeah, fuck social media norms. Oh yeah, of course. Of course.
Yeah, he already started following me.
Poltergeist, he knows what's up.
Dope.
oh yeah, he's also a big language is not an
Oh,
issue.
you know what? That's so funny. My friend Nathan Robin
Uh,
follows him.
that's
You
hilarious.
know Nathan?
No, but I'm
Oh,
saying that's
okay.
hilarious.
Well,
That
Nathan is like a huge, huge supporter of the underground, like horrorcore
Hey,
hip hop scene.
tell him to
Like,
follow my podcast.
I
This
will.
podcast,
Yeah, totally.
Sensibly
I
Cynical
will.
podcast.
Yeah, he's gonna hear
Where
this. Name
where
drop. What up, Nathan? Thanks for
where
being like,
Sensibly Cynical, where you can follow, subscribe,
yeah.
like, you know,
Yes.
pause this
Smash
podcast,
that
go,
like
yeah,
button.
yeah, yeah. Go subscribe and then come right back. I get an extra view that way. I think so. I think so. If not, then I can think that way. All right.
Yeah.
Mommy Blush. Awesome. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Sean. This
And
was so fun.
let's keep in contact and maybe
Yeah.
down the line, when you get new music, feel free to promote and come back on
Yeah.
and you can promote.
Totally. I would love
All
to.
right. All right. Have a good night.
Yay. You too.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.